Hello people of the earth and welcome to QuickSaveTV. My name is Mike and today I'm going to try to go ahead and present to you Steam games on Steam Summer Sale. I had this idea to do that. I actually made a video on July 16th, but it didn't work out quite as well as I expected and I couldn't make it. I just didn't get on time with all my schedules and etc, etc. You know, I have several series going on and I've been falling behind a little bit on some of them and this is unfortunate. Thank you Vic MW2 LBP for subscription. Okay, now you're probably aware, if you're subscribed or watching Total Biscuit, you're probably aware he has this series called Sales Box, if I'm not mistaken. I'd never watched the series, but I do think I understand what he was trying to do with that. And I think it's a great idea to inform the consumer about the games that's coming out, and especially now with Steam Summer Sales, the time is just perfect for me to open up in this field as well, and to go ahead and try to recommend you some of these things that are available on Steam right now, and, you know, just to suggest you and just give you some of my opinion on that. Let us begin without further ado. I know some of these games, those that I do not know, I'll try to just give you general breakdown of what it is and what you might expect, okay? So let's open up with the first one, Age of Empires Online. Now, Age of Empires as such was a great game. You know, Age of Empires 1, Age of Empires 2, Age of Empires 3, each are very interesting games. They are about medieval, they're about ancient times, they're about general progress of civilization, about different cultures, and there you could meet different civilizations and just look at them, enjoy the way they look, the way they talk, the way they build. All of this was depicted. Now, Age of Empires Online is, in essence, something else. It's more of a cartoony kind of graphically game, and you know, it is considered free to play. I do not understand what you're actually buying here. Age of Empires Online Summer Sale Bundle. It doesn't make any sense. Yes, you get the Pen of Herodotus, extra storage, exotic vanity gear, and heroic 8 consumables. Now, in essence, if you would like to try it out, you should go ahead and try it out for free, unless you're really falling behind and you really feel the need to buy it. But the deal is for... how long is it? Deal is for 32 hours more. You know, you're not really in a rush. By the time you're going to be watching it, at least you're going to have at least 24 hours, at least a full day. So don't rush for that. I do not recommend particularly rushing, is that because generally free-to-play games, they don't really have high reputation. And even if it's Age of Empires, I am concerned it might be just the milking of the title, so be careful, be very careful. Total War Mega Pack. Now this is probably the worthiest of them all right now presented for today. I think it's it's a great deal, it's amazing. It includes in itself even just Medieval 2 Total War and Empire Total War together can cost so much, you know, and it would be justified. But it also has Medieval 2 Kingdoms, absolutely amazing DLC with so many great campaigns. It includes the American campaign, you know, in the North America, with French, with Spanish, with holy shit, it's just absolutely amazing. There's no way to describe it. The classical Rome Total War that earned the hearts of its fans. The Rome Total War, we're in essence expecting Rome 2 Total War later down the road this year. To have more information about it, I don't really remember the date of release, but the point is all of these games are worthy in their own way, and you totally should go ahead and try them out. At least Medieval 2, Rome Total War, Empire Total War, and Napoleon Total War. All of them are worthy, plus additional DLCs in case if you didn't have enough of any of them. This is a great deal for 12.50 euros. It's absolutely astounding. I totally recommend it to you. The global strategy, take a look at it, you will not regret it, I promise. Stalker, Call of Pripyat. I have never played Call of Pripyat, but however, I had the fortune to play original Stalker. Oh, it actually has a pack. It has a pack for 8. Oh, it's a bundle. It's a Stalker collection. You have Call of Pripyat, Clear Sky, and Stalker, Shadow of Chernobyl. As far as I know, the Clear Sky was absolutely astounding deals. It got very high critical acclamation, and Stalker, original Stalker, Shadow of Chernobyl was absolutely amazing. I really enjoyed the game, played it, and you know, I have to tell you, it was great. I really enjoyed it, right? And now you have the opportunity to purchase all of them in the price that is below 10 euros. In essence, it is a free roaming single player game with a multiplayer mod, which is not particularly inspiring if you need my opinion. It's like semi-realistic shooter. There are much better shooter for multiplayer purposes. Even Call of Duty would be much better selection. I mean, not even. how to put it better, Call of Duty or Battlefield 3 would be much better selection for multiplayer, whereas Stalker surely can play with a handicap and still gonna beat both of them with closed eyes. I can promise you that. An absolutely atmospheric world in which you're trying to struggle to survive, to find different objects, to bring them back, to get additional ammo, to buy and scavenge for ammunition and additional weaponry. Look, it's a great experience. If you are a fan of post-apocalyptic storylines and you're a fan of post-apocalyptic free-roaming games, you should totally try it out. It's a mix of action and RPG. It's great, okay? I have myself played Stalker. I do know that Clear Sky was an amazing DLC. I do not know about Call of Pripyat, but the price is just right to pick them up, and if you missed them in the past, now your computer will be able to properly run them. This is an amazing purchase. Next one, let's take a look at the Thief Deadly Shadows. Thief, now, in essence, Thief, Deadly Shadows itself will cost you $2.5. Again, it's a pack. You have Thief Gold, Thief 2, and Thief Deadly Shadows. To be absolutely fair, I do think Thief Deadly Shadows will be a better purchase simply because it's the latest, right, in the series. We had Thief, Thief 2, and Thief Deadly Shadows. Well, it's a game about a thief, as the name claims. It's just a astounding experience as such. It's a stealth simulation, stealth action thief simulation in which you're not so much trying to kill anyone or trying to do something as much as you're trying to avoid the enemies altogether, trying to neutralize the torches in a game, and just trying to liquidate enemies by not killing them but stunning them and hiding the bodies. This is something amazing, you know. Just when else will you be able to play as a thief? It's a great opportunity to try out this game right now for such a price. Just the same with Stalker. If you missed the game ever in the past, this is a one-of-a-kind game. There's no other simulation of thief except for... There was another one, but it was in another genre. This one is the first-person action simulation. You should totally go ahead and pick it up. I recommend it to you. Next one is Sins of Solar Empire Rebellion. Now, this game is going to be absolutely hardcore for many people. Many people will find it too difficult and too complicated. It's about space. It's a strategy simulation in space. Simulation in what sense? Because it's quite complex and complicated, just as it is with the space games. I did never play it, but I do remember reading in magazines about it. It received high scores, as you can see right here, from PC Gamer, from Strategy Informer, Quarter to 3, RTS Guru. And I actually kind of regret that I didn't try it, but I'm not a gigantic fan of space simulations, okay, to be absolutely honest with you. The price is €22.5. It's only 25% discount. I would not say that I absolutely wait for this game, but I do recommend you to take a look at it. It's not a bad purchase. But honestly, for instance, Total War and Stalker and Thief, Deadly Shadows, all of them altogether will cost you less than Sins of Solar Empire Rebellion. And they're not much worse. They are actually in the same quality criteria, just as LA Noire, also standing really close to them. There is no point to pick up something so ultimately expensive with such a low discount. I do not recommend it to you due to discount, but take a look at it if you're a fan of the genre. The next one is going to be LA Noire from Rockstar Games. This is the game in which you're trying to play as a detective. I really regret not trying it actually. I would like to pick it up, but it's so many expenses. I would rather focus on production on my channel. I don't have so much time to play anymore, but this is the kind of game that brings the change, the big good change to the genre. You are playing as the detective and you're trying to figure out how to solve different crimes. There are different cases which you will be trying to solve. You'll be trying to talk to people, try to persuade them to give you additional information. You will try to, well, in here we see something, I wouldn't claim it's interrogation, but it's probably studying the corpse or whatever, but you're playing as detective. So it's something unusual from Rockstar Games, because generally in Rockstar Games you are hijacking stuff, you're killing people, you're stealing things, you're destroying and explode, like, you know, a whole bunch of explosions. This is something different, and I totally recommend you to take a look at it. Again, it's for such a price, it's a great purchase, and you probably will not regret it, because it will be, at very least, a unique experience. Next one we're going to take a look at is going to be Indie Bundle 7. Now, Indie Bundle 7 has 5 games in it. I know most of them, right? We have Abaddon the Black Fortress, Dungeons of Dreadmore, Cube, Vessel, and Zombie Driver. From this 4 or 5, I do not know Vessel. Well, Abaddon the Black Fortress, I took a look at it in the past. You should go ahead and search on my channel for a detailed review of this game. In this game, it's a hardcore simulation, turn-based. It's like, not simulation, excuse me. It's a hardcore RPG with turn-based combat, with very sophisticated skill systems and abundance of dialogues. You will die faster than you will finish reading every single dialogue in this game. A lot of classes to choose from, a lot of, like you could see from screenshots. Honestly, I played it a little bit for about 2 hours to make a review off of it, and it's quite complex, right? Not everyone will like it, but for classical fans of classical RPGs, hardcore RPGs, it will be something to take a look at, certainly, especially for such a price in a pack. It's totally recommended. Okay, back to Indie Bundle. Then we have Dungeons of Dreadmore. Dungeons of Dreadmore, in many ways, like Super Meat Boy. What's the name of the game? The Binding of Isaac. That's the game that's a lot of like Binding of Isaac, but a little bit more towards RPG genre. It also has a lot of references towards popular culture. Not so much religion, but rather popular culture. It has references to Cthulhu. It has references to Iron Man. It has references, you know, to all of these things. You can craft things, you can brew alchemical potions, you're trying to tactically clean out the dungeon in this awesome RPG, and again, death is permanent. As you die, you're slowly unlocking new, how to put it, I don't remember, new abilities, new perks, and etc, etc. It's a great game to try out, and certainly is something that should be supported from as an indie initiative. The next one is Cube. Now, Cube is a puzzle from first person, which design-wise, reminds a lot Portal. Why? Because it's kind of like, how to put it better, it's all white. For me, Portal and Portal 2 is like, you know, this whiteness, overwhelming whiteness. It's again a puzzle in which you're trying to manipulate the cubes around the all around the place in order to pull them out, in order to bring them up, bring them down, in order to beat puzzles and try to explore further and further deeper into the game. Now, games of such genre are not really unusual anymore. We have the initiation of the genre by Portal. If I am not mistaken, I apologize if I'm mistaken. For me, it was Portal, right? Then today we have Cube. Today we also have, what's the name of the Quantum Conundrum. We have so many games of this genre right now. And you know, Cube is quite cheap when you buy it in a package of Indie Bundle. You know, by itself it would be €6, or in the package it will be 7, right? It's 5.5 and 7. It's, you know, it's not a bad purchase, and I certainly think that you will enjoy it as for what it is. You know, it's a puzzle, and even I would enjoy it because it's, you know, it combines the nauseating difficulty of a puzzle with the easy to understand mechanics of action, right? Okay, next, Vessel. Vessel, I have never played this game. It is action strategy indie platformer. Wow. It does remind me Carnage for some reason. Carnage No Remorse. I don't know why, do not ask me. You seem to be looking at the world from isometric perspective. I would look at it from my point of view. It's just an addition to the package. I don't know how good it will be. It certainly doesn't look bad, but I really don't know how good is it going to be. So yeah, I'm not going to say anything about it because I don't know. Zombie Driver is this silly little game in which you drive the car and smash zombies. Wow. Okay. So for people who really enjoyed Carnage in the past, when I was young, Carnage would not run on my computer, so I did not have the fortune to actually play it. Neither was I really interested. But in this game, you will be smashing zombies. There's going to be blood all over the place. Well, honestly, I don't think that's something to buy this pack for, but to have it as an addition, just as I said with the previous game, I don't think it's a very bad purchase, because I myself, for €7, I do believe it would be worth it to pick up at least for Dungeons of Dreadmore and Cube, Abaddon the Black Fortress for more hardcore players, and Vessel Zombie Driver to kind of relax or for more softcore players. So that it is. Let's talk about these games a little bit also. I do know most of them, I think I do, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to describe them a little bit to you as well. So yesterday deals, I don't know how useful it's going to be to you, but let's try, right? Have to pick up somehow. So Spec Ops The Line. I have never played Spec Ops The Line. I played previous game. I was not particularly satisfied, not particularly impressed by anything in it whatsoever. The old Spec Ops in the past, when we had this Desert Storm, I think it was called, right? I hope I'm not confusing the genres. I'm not confusing the games. That was awesome. Okay, it had its minuses. It was annoying, but it was awesome in its own fashion. It was the tactical kind of game. Here, the line, I don't know how tactical is it going to be. Well, action, yeah, fine, but what kind of action? I cannot say anything about it, and it came out just recently. Don't know how good it is, honestly. It says intense and unique and whatever, but I do not know. And for 34 euros, myself, I will be staying away from this product, not necessarily because I dislike it, but because the price is quite high, and I wouldn't like to risk by picking it up. Next, the Stronghold 3 Gold. Golden Stronghold. Now, Stronghold is the game in which you build your castle, you organize everything. You organize supply of food, supply of weaponry, how and when the celebrations will be held, how your defenses are holding, how defenses will be working, where to build new stuff, where not to build new stuff, all these kind of things, and taxes and etc. So it's like a medieval castle simulation. Well, I have played Stronghold 2 in the past. My ex-girlfriend had the CD, she was a big fan of the game, so I was like, let me try it as well, and I was not particularly impressed. Now, I'm not saying it to appeal to the Stronghold fans, I just couldn't really get into that. I really liked back in the day Knights and Merchants, but Stronghold 2 for me seemed like, over complex and kind of shallow in a way that it had many things, but no real, how to put it, skeleton towards it. You just had to build a lot of stuff, and it was really confusing, rather than having tight, places in which you would just, this is for that, this is for this. Too many buildings for me, too much confusion for me. But again, not a bad game if you're into that, especially if you grew up on Stronghold or Stronghold 2. You should totally go ahead and check it out. 11 euros, quite expensive for what it is, but do not ignore it. That would be unfortunate. Then we have Grand Theft Auto 4 Complete Edition, it says. I guess it includes the... Wow. What is this? Packages that include the game? Wow, it's so cheap, actually. Grand Theft Auto 4 Complete Edition. Well, honestly, for people who are into GTA, they have probably already bought the game. If you did not, for such a low price, I think it's the time. It's the grab, right now. After all the patches, they've probably fixed all of these issues with the not displaying properly, because the game was quite heavy when it came out. It's totally a worthy pickup for people who enjoy this kind of game. A sandbox without too much of a bother with it. You can steal cars, you can attack the neighborhoods, you can buy houses, I assume, like in the previous games, because I play everything except GTA 4, right? And this is the kind of game that, for me, it is a sandbox, right? But it's the same kind of sandbox that the Just Cause is. It's a shallow sandbox. It's not like Skyrim. You go to every single place, and every single place is different. In here, you kind of do things, and you have a lot of things to do, but they don't really leave you impressed. I don't know how to put it. But there's multiplayer mods, and you will certainly be able to enjoy it. I'm sure of it. Many people still play it. One of my best friends in United States, he's actually still playing it. He's a big nerd. Ariel, you heard me. You're a nerd. Now, he won't have the patience to watch the whole video, so I'm pretty much safe. Next one is the Company of Heroes. Company of Heroes was this game from THQ that tried to bring a new, fresh breath towards games about World War II. And it did. It certainly did. It's so unusual in many crucial ways. For instance, the vehicle. It's important for a vehicle to have proper positioning. When the enemy tank attacks your tanks on the front, you see the form of it helps the tank to be protected by means of ricocheting off of your tank. Sometimes the shells will just ricochet off of it. On the sides, they can also ricochet, they just go away. Or when you attack the backside of the tank, you can deal additional damage, and it's higher chance that you're actually going to deal any damage as such. It's very important. Your infantry units are actually taking positions in appropriate manner. They're taking cover. They're using suppression fire, and etc. etc. You have to fight for points. That is not what I wanted to do. Holy cow, getting back into here. Then we have the battles for cities, battles on the open. It's a multiplayer discipline as far as I remember. I hate World War II games. But Company of Heroes is different. It's not just another strategy. It's a strategy with a lot of detail. Needless to say, Warhammer 40,000 Dawn of War 2 was modeled heavily after Company of Heroes, and you see, it was a great step. It was a great step towards tactical kind of strategy. And if you never tried the game for €2, holy cow, you should totally pick it up. I mean, it's a worthy purchase. If you are a fan of strategy games, you should not miss on that. That would be absolutely ridiculous. The next game on the line is going to be Limbo. Limbo I've talked about already. You've seen it in my take a look at. That's a game in which everything is in black and white. Artistically, it's like a noir, right? It's incredibly beautiful. You walk around because of the work of shaders and light. Even though it's black and white, it looks absolutely astounding. You cannot imagine, right? If you didn't see my video, take a look at Limbo. Just go ahead and take a look at it, right? Or any video for that matter. It's going to look exactly the same. It's an artistic adventure experience. It's not so much of a game, much more of a living, breathing comic book, right? In which you run as this boy and try to explore this hostile world and just trying to figure out what the hell to do here and how to actually do that. That's a great pickup and great purchase for €2.5. Even though I would argue Company of Heroes would be better purchase for the same money. But you have to remember, support indie developers because they're like children. They need support because we love them. The next one on the line is Call of Duty Black Ops. Now, Call of Duty Black Ops costs €30. Seriously, you people are nuts or what? So you have a whole bunch of games. Holy cow. Activision, really? That's all you came up with? That's it? That's all? A money grab before Black Ops 2 coming out. So you are very excited for Black Ops 2, right? Yay, that's the time to spend some of your money on Call of Duty Black Ops 1. Because Activision apparently is very good at money grabbing strategy. Wow, yay Activision. Wow, yay. Yay. Now, Call of Duty Black Ops, for any of you who did not play a Call of Duty game, is a Call of Duty game. That means we have a great engine borrowed from Quake 3 Arena under many revisions and refurbishes, runs greatly at 60 FPS, even on weaker machines, including my own. You can, to a limited extent, you have a different kind of arsenal than you have in Call of Duty Modern Warfare, including Modern Warfare 2. In Black Ops, you have different system of customization done by another company, and it works differently generally, but except for that, it's just the same goddamn Call of Duty game, okay? It's the same thing in another package, okay? You want to pick it up? Go ahead, pick it up. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's just not very new, not very different. You would say, oh, Call of Duty does need to be different, and why do you even listen to me? Jesus fucking Christ. Go buy the game then. Yay, €30. Discounts. Next, Railworks 3 Train Simulator 2012. I've played Train Simulator once. It was like for 1 hour until my brain melted down under nuclear pressure and I just stopped playing it. Now, of course in 2012, you can see from a cabin, it's greatly detailed, the way it looks and etc. You probably are designing the railroads. I don't even know what you're doing. I will expect you to do that, or maybe you're just driving the trains, which is not, again, something very exciting. But this is the niche of games that was, for a lot of time, it was developed by, if I'm not mistaken, by the creator of Civilization, right? Oh no, it's Rail Simulator, it's something else. Well, it's not a bad purchase if you're into that. I'm not into that. I cannot really specify what's good, what's bad about it. It's a train simulator for me. It just looks like just any other train simulator out there, except for the old ones which I actually played, which were just Excel spreadsheets. They weren't really impressive. This one actually looks good. The last game we're going to take a look at is going to be Wargame European Escalation. I have never played this game. Neither do I think I heard about it. Wargame European Escalation. It's a strategy in the modern times in which you're going to be able to control whomever. In Europe, it says 8 nations. I guess Russia is going to be there. As long as we're still considered to be Europeans, we are in this game. We're going to kick your goddamn butts. By the way, what are Chinooks doing here? Unless Americans are participating, I do not know who is using Chinooks. I really do not know. It looks like toys, It doesn't look bad. I'm not particularly aware of this game. Oh, it has the modern rocket launchers. How do you call it? Rocket systems, complex rocket systems. We actually have better ones. You have to see new Russian ones. They're quite complex. I think 48 rockets are fitting inside. That's quite a sight to see, especially when it fires. You don't want to be on the other side of it. If I'm not mistaken, it's T-90, our tank. If I'm not mistaken, please make me not mistake. I think it's T-90, I'm almost sure. Oh, not that I was following it very closely. The aggressive helicopters and etc. So yay, go ahead, take a look at it. 20 euros, however, you know. It's not so cheap. The grade is quite high from Metacritic. And, well, it's still quite a discount. It's 50% off, and it came out just in February of this year, so not a bad purchase after all, probably, eh? Then we have Indie Bundle 6. We have for the awesome DEFCON, Space Cam. And by the way, DEFCON is not just called DEFCON, it's called DEFCON. Everybody dies. Yeah, that's my kind of game. Space Cam, Ticket to Ride, and Trauma. I have played myself Space Cam and DEFCON. Well, those two are very nerdy. You wouldn't freaking imagine. I have never played for awesome. Neither did I play Ticket to Ride or Trauma. Let's start with those that I don't know about. Now, awesome is a action sports, it says. I have no idea. Hugs, kisses. I don't even know. Speed proxy, hugs, kisses. Jesus Christ, what is this game? It's something crazy. I will regret. When I'm 80, I'm going to try this game. Relax, glove. Wow, follow your... Well, it's kind of arcade game. I'd rather focus on the things I know about. Let's talk about DEFCON and Space Cam. Now, DEFCON is the shit. You never played it, you're missing out. For any of you hardcore nerds like me, DEFCON is this global strategy in which you're going to control one of the major nations. You're going to control whomever that is. I think you actually have only two. Well, wait a second. You can select from various sides, and you can start in different regions. You can start in region of... I don't remember for a fact anymore. Let's make it very simple. Let's imagine we have only Russia and United States as a strike, one against another. Let's say United States starts generally to the left, Russia generally to the right. So you place your silos. You place your silos and you place your fleets, your forces. Generally, I think it's fleets. And then what you do is you're trying to arrange your units in such a formation that you will be able to deal maximum damage to the enemy with your nuclear missiles. Okay, so for example, when you are launching your nuclear missile, it will be flying all the way from your silo to the enemy continent, to the enemy target, reaching point. While it is still flying, it can be shot down if enemy sets one of his silos to actually try to shut down your nuclear missiles. It is impossible to stop all of them, and it's imperative that you select which ones do you actually use for attacking, which one do you actually use for defending, and that you attack and bomb the most populated cities in order to deal the most damage to the enemy. Then you also have fleets under your command and under enemy command. You're both going to have fleets. Your fleets can also launch nuclear missiles. You have to be wary of that, and you have to try to shut down enemy fleets, just destroy them before they reach the shores of your nation so that they do not destroy you. This game is generally what the Cold War would be if neither United States nor Russia would have the wisdom to cut it down and just stop it, because this is the end of the world, right? If we're serious, this is not funny. This is what it would be. DEFCON is the American state of defense. It's their term to the state of defense. There's 5 stages of DEFCON. There's DEFCON 5, peaceful time. DEFCON 4. Wait a second, DEFCON 5, barely peaceful, let's say, you know. DEFCON 4, general mobilization. DEFCON 3, extreme mobilization, to put it simply. DEFCON 2, almost ready, right? And DEFCON 1, everything freaking dies. It's about nuclear warfare. It's about the end of the world, and it can be quite traumatizing for anyone who understands what's at stake. You know, for someone who sees spreadsheets and numbers, yeah, it's gonna be, oh, it's funny, you know, it's explosions. But if you think about it and you understand what's happening, yeah, it can be quite traumatizing. But you should totally check it out if you're into complex games. It's a simulation of Cold War, of what Cold War would turn into being. And plus, you can play up to 6 people, if I'm not mistaken, one against the other. You can also try the trial of the game. Back at the time when I tried it, it was still available for free just to try it out. And yes, it's a totally interesting game to try out. Then we have the Space Cam. Space Cam is another crazy nerdy simulation or of whatever, but at least it's graphically appealing, you know. It's a 2D in which you're trying to construct your mining facilities and your assembly facilities or factories in order to create specific camps. Now, you organize inside each of these factories. Let me go ahead and show you inside them. Here's inside factory. This will be something that will be absolutely orgasmic for someone who's into chemistry. I wasn't ever into chemistry, but I tried it. Well, it's damn complex. It's a puzzle in which you're trying to organize the, how to even put it, facilities in order to push atoms around the place in order so that they combine and get out in the produced project. It can get very, very difficult, make no mistake. And it has many elements. You're trying to build those elements, you know, by combining other ones. It's very complicated, honestly, but if you're into puzzles, this is something very unusual to take a look at, because never before in a puzzle game did I have to combine chemical elements in order to build something new out of it. The next one is going to be Ticket to Ride, Strategy. Strategy, Casual. I have no idea. This guy with mustache looks very suspicious, that's all I can give you. Oh yes, spreadsheets! Wow, colorful spreadsheets! Wow, so exciting, more spreadsheets! Wow! Oh my goodness, I'm so excited! Jan versus Bomber 3. Yay! I don't even know. It's a casual game, so don't expect super much, but take a look at it. You know, it's a part of a pack. This whole pack could be bought simply for DEF CON and Space Cam. I do say that, you know. Everything else is coming as, you know, oh, we're a bonus. Trauma is Trauma. Adventure, Casual. Well, adventure-wise, you know, would be something interesting to take a look at. I never take a look at adventures, generally because adventure understands also that it's going to have a lot of puzzles. I don't like puzzles, so I try to avoid them at all costs. But you don't have to, for you're probably not afraid of puzzles since you're listening to me right now, and you should totally go ahead and take a look at it. But again, as I said, in my opinion, if I would pick it up, I would pick it up for DEF CON and Space Cam, not for anything else. Everything else is like an added bonus and should not be considered super extremely important. At least it's not in my eyes. Okay. Next, there's still voting going on, as you can see. There's some other games that's available. Let's briefly talk a little bit about them. The Saints Row the Third is the game, much like GTA, but it's more of a goofy GTA, in which you can customize tremendous amount your character. All of these characters you're seeing right now, you will be able to customize yourself in the game. You will be able to make them in the game. You can even customize the voice, the accent, what you're having. There's a Russian accent, I know it for a fact, at least for a woman. I did see it myself. There is a lot of goofiness happening going on. There is partial nudity, there's complete nudity, depending on what you prefer and do. There are guns, they are kind of behaving, obviously not really realistically, but it's not the point of the game, right? You go around, you shoot, it's about criminality. It's kind of a free roaming game, much like GTA, but it's different, very, very different. It's like a little silly brother of GTA 4, in my opinion, but it's totally worth to take a look at, especially for €7.50. I mean, it's not a bad purchase, it's not bad for its entertainment value. However, the goddamn DLCs will certainly ruin your family budget. They're right here. Buy Saints Row the Third franchise park. Holy shit, look how many things. 17 items. Why do you need this shit? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Saints Row the Third Special Ops Vehicles pack. Who buys this shit? Who needs this stuff? This is so many DLCs. This is such a waste of money. You could have bought the game and then spent twice as much for the goddamn DLCs. People, turn on your brains, for fuck's sake. That this is so ridiculously expensive, and you're paying for additional content. I mean, this content is not even expanding the game. It just adds silly toys to play with. I will never understand modern gaming. I probably should just buy a handgun and just shoot myself in the face. Next one is the Bastion. Okay, Bastion I completely recommend this game. It's a narration-driven action not so much RPG, even though it states it's much more of an action than an RPG. There is some kind of progression, and you can customize to an extent, you can customize the equipment of your character, you can customize the drink he's using right now, but that's about it. But it's an incredible story. It should be called adventure just for what it's just. As you play, you get such wonderful narration and the story of what happened in the world of Bastion. I actually made a video, take a look at Bastion. You should go ahead and take a look at it as well with me. I think it's absolutely worthy purchase, unlike some other games on this list. The other one right here is The Binding of Isaac. You're asking me whether or not you should purchase it? Hell yeah, you should purchase it. It's like the freaking worthiest of them all. This is a great game, much like the other one we were talking about. I'm playing it all the time. You can see me playing it on my channel. Oh, that's a laser. I also had it. It's an incredible game in which you die permanently every time you die, and you can start it over and over again. It has incredible replayability. For €1.50, if you play it 1 hour, it already paid off. If you play it 2 hours, it's already cheap entertainment. If you played anything over it, you got your money returned much better than you would for many games that are on the sales today. Except for Total War, because Total War you can play for hundreds of hours. Do not be mistaken, Total War is absolutely amazing. But totally support The Binding of Isaac. We need more games like this, and developers of its developers, the same guys that developed the Meat Boy, I think, Super Meat Boy, they should be supported. We need more games from them. That's an absolute design wonder. Okay, next we have Dead Space 2. Action horror, survival horror, in which you're trying to survive against this necro somethings. It's kind of like a mutation on the corpses, which happens in a far away space colony, and of course the help is not coming to you, and you're trying to survive as much as you can. Coincidentally, the name of the guy who is the main character is Isaac Clarke, and he is not entirely mentally stable person. He kind of reminds me Daniel from Amnesia, but not to the same extent. He just sees things, but he's very aggressive and strong, and like Daniel, he is more than capable of taking care of these shits, and he's fighting for his survival. He constantly is haunted by the visions of his girlfriend that he couldn't save. I think that's what it was in Dead Space 2. I do recommend to you to take a look at it if you're a fan of such games. It's like a meaty horror, horror shooter. It's not the kind of the horror that Amnesia is. It doesn't make you feel pathetic. It's just sometimes difficult to take care of the enemies, and it's extremely brutal. Dead Space 2 is very gory game. There's a lot of gore everywhere, and it's certainly not for kids, but you should totally take a look at it, if that's something you're into. And for €8, for €7.50, it's not a bad purchase at all. Alright people, that's was quite extensive. I hope it's not going to be too long when I finish editing it. I'm going to try to keep these ones daily as long as I can, and well, please do tell me what you think about it. Was it interesting or not? And please do not forget to put a like on it. It will help me immensely. I thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. You have a greatest day, and stay tuned for more content from me, QuickSaveTV. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel, and have a greatest day. Go, pick them up while the prices are hot. Do not miss your chance, because later on there's going to be no such opportunities. Bye bye.